We're glad you joined us today. We know the road may feel isolating, but we are here to go along this journey with you and love the call to action. Ruck Buttercup is a podcast hosted by Deployed Love, where we're going to join together and chat about all things military life. So you know the drill. Ruck Buttercup.
Hey everybody, we're back with another girl chat. We kind of are going back to a girl chat at the beginning of this month because we had to change our schedule for our really exciting interview later this month. But not to say that today isn't exciting, because today we decided we're going to have our kids on here, our military kids, to be part of the podcast and kind of hear their stories and what they think it is to be a military kid. But before we start, I just have a couple announcements for you. If you have been part of the Deployed Love pages this month, we've been really celebrating the military kids. So make sure you're following along on the groups. We have Spirit Week all week. We have coloring contests and lots of other really fun play dates and things planned throughout all of our bases. So it's been really, really exciting. And we hope that you guys are getting involved and getting out to meet us at some of our bases. We also are excited to announce that we're doing our first 5K. It's going to be in May over the weekend. Some of our local bases will be hosting it, as well as it's virtual. So if you're not at one of our bases, feel free to join us. We have t-shirts that are really, really cute that were designed by one of the people on our team that we are excited to see everybody come out to our first 5K this year. So look for that on our Facebook pages. But as for this podcast, we do have our kids, some really special guests here. So we have, Ashley, myself, and Kim are here, and our kids. So yeah. Ashley, you want to go ahead and introduce everybody that we have here?
I do. I'm so excited. So we have Kim's two oldest, Caden and Madison. Then Sabrina has her oldest, Kyra, and I'm here with my oldest, Devlin.
Super excited. Devlin, are you excited to be on the podcast today? We're going to start with you. Yay! Let's see. How old are you, Devlin?
6.
6.
What does your daddy do for his job, Devlin?
To fight bad guys.
He does?
Uh-huh.
What else does he do?
Yeah.
What does he do, like, a lot of times during the day? Does he jump out of airplanes?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
And also helicopters.
Yeah. Do you get to see your daddy do the big ones? Devlin, do you ever get to see him go jump out of the airplanes? Do you watch him do that?
We watched him do that one time.
One time? Was it fun or scary?
Cool.
It was fun.
Fun. Good.
What do you think is the coolest thing about being a military kid?
Don't hurt yourself thinking, bud. What's cool? What's something really cool about being a military kid? Do you like meeting new people?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like moving?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like seeing all the soldiers when you go to see Daddy at work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to want to be a soldier when you grow up, maybe?
No.
No, not for you.
A paleontologist.
What do you want to be?
A paleontologist.
A paleontologist.
Ooh, that's a cool job.
To look for dinosaur fossils.
Yeah, they do. That's a cool job.
Also, they also find gems and crystals.
They probably can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because some places will have crystals.
Yeah. Is there anything else about Daddy being in the military that you like?
Mm-mm.
No.
Have you ever tried his uniform on? Does his helmet fit your head?
A helmet. Can you show me them?
I don't have any of it right now.
He knows that he did it, though.
Yeah.
He asked you to show pictures, so he knows he's probably seen some of them around. He just don't remember right now.
Do you have anything else you want to tell us about being a military kid? Otherwise, we'll let you go.
What is there something you don't like?
Yes.
What is it?
Doing school.
Well, school isn't really being a military kid. Every child has to go to school. It's just part of life. Anything else you want to add to the podcast today? Did you become real shy?
That's okay. Thank you, Devlin. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thank you, bud.
Bye.
Bye. He's like, I am out of here.
He's so cute.
All right, you have to scoot in here so they can talk to you next.
He's so funny. So, well, Devlin was a little shy, but we are going to move on to Kyra next. Kyra, how old are you?
9.
9?
Kyra, now that your dad is a veteran, what do you think that means? What's different about Dad's job now?
He doesn't get to be in the serious business.
Yeah. He doesn't wear a uniform anymore.
Or shoot much.
He doesn't shoot much. You're right. Anything
That's
else?
some good stuff to think about. Is he home a little more?
I don't know.
Is Dad home more often now, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Does he still deploy, Kyra?
Does he still deploy?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes. Didn't Daddy just come home from a deployment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it really exciting welcoming him home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Say more than
Did you-
yes.
Did you make signs?
No.
No.
Not this time, huh? He surprised us this time, huh? He came home without telling us.
And I knew it.
You knew he was going
You
to
knew
surprise
it.
us.
Oh. You had that military kid tuition, huh? Or intuition.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still live the life of a military kid, though. So when you first remember being little and Daddy leaving and being gone, do you still think that it's similar now that Dad's doing what he's doing? Is it kind of still the same lifestyle?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you think is the coolest thing about your dad's job now?
Shooting.
Yeah?
I mean, that is really exciting to know that your daddy can shoot and take care of everybody, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Daddy still goes and protects us and just does stuff to keep us safe, which is
Yeah.
really awesome.
Do you have anything else to say about Dad being when he was a soldier or anything? Do you remember him wearing his uniform to work? You were really little.
I know what his uniform looks like.
You can remember that?
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about being a military kid, Kyra?
Getting to have the best dad in the world that would help our town and the USA.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So awesome.
Anything else you want to tell us about it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Unless you have any more questions.
That's all we got, I think. You
That's all
good?
we've got for you.
All right. So now that we've done the 2 younger ones, we have you 2 older kids. You guys ready for this?
Ready?
You're ready? All right. You guys can come up to the front so we can ask you questions. So how old are you, Madison?
I'm 11.
11. And how old are you, Caden?
I'm 13.
13. So you guys have been around being military kids for quite a while, huh? Do you guys remember doing it when you were little kids?
Not really. I can't really remember much from when I was little, but I know it was really hard because my dad was always gone.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Caden? Do you remember it throughout your life? No. What is the coolest thing that you think is the coolest thing about being a military kid?
Well, sometimes you get to like go and see dad doing trainings and stuff. I remember we went to this one specifically where he would like be locked up in like kind of like a chair, I guess. And like they would throw him in the water because he flies planes, so he had to know how to get out of it and everything. So he'd be underwater trying to get out and everything. And it was super fun to watch. But I was also really worried that he wouldn't get out, but he got out. So.
That's
And
really cool, though. Yeah, I agree. That would be so cool to see and know that your dad could save you, especially like what if you got in a car wreck or something? He could be able to save you and get you out of a chair. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Right.
and sometimes it's fun because you get to like climb around the airplanes and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, the helicopters on airplanes. Sorry.
I say as an adult, that's still a lot of fun.
It's so cool getting in the tanks and all the cool stuff that they have. Yeah. What about you, Caden? What do you think is the coolest thing about being a military kid?
I think the coolest part of being a military kid is all the traveling and meeting new people that you get to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys have lived at a lot of bases over the last couple of years, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
we've lived at 4 different bases. 5.
That's cool.
Well, as a military kid, we know that military life can be pretty hard. What do you guys find that's the most challenging for you guys?
Something that I find really challenging is like moving a lot. I know I used to live in Tennessee for like 5 years, and it was really hard because I had to leave all my best friends that I basically kind of grew up like growing up with them, because like I was like, I think I was like in kindergarten when I moved there, and then I really spent all my like school years with them and everything, but then we had to move, and that was really sad for me.
Yeah, that can be really sad. I definitely know how that feels. I grew up as a military kid too, and I moved a lot, but you keep those connections. Do you still talk to some of your friends?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Your mom was talking about wanting to visit them. Would you like to go back and visit your friends? I think that's the coolest part.
Every birthday I try to visit them.
You try to? Yeah, I know, because I talked to some of my friends from being in the military over the last 10 years that we have girls' nights and we'll try to plan and meet somewhere in the middle. And that's always my favorite thing, is to see my friends again. So
yeah, sometimes we go to my friends' dance competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my very best friend is from when I was growing up, and we're still best friends, and we've been friends for about 15 years. We met when we were in high school, so we're a little older than you guys are, but we still talk to each other almost every single day. And we live states apart, but we never kind of miss that beat. We're always there for each other.
Yeah. What about you,
Caden?
I would say the toughest thing is having our dad being gone for long periods of time and not getting to see him and stuff.
Yeah, that does make things a little hard, because then he misses out on potentially on birthdays or special events. Yeah, that could be challenging.
Your dad's done a lot of deployments and stuff lately, huh? He was kind of gone for a while. But there's a lot of cool things. So what do you guys do? What is the coolest thing you can remember doing with your dad just simply because he's in the military?
Going and exploring one of those little helicopters.
Yeah, not every kid gets to do that, do they? That's such a cool thing, huh?
So I'll share with you guys an example.
Oh yeah, I got to be in a really cool group at school, and there were a lot of nice kids in there that actually like understood what I was going through and stuff. So it was pretty good because I got to talk to them, and like they knew what I was going through and everything.
Were they all other military kids with you?
Yeah, they're all military kids, and the teacher was really nice.
Yeah. It's a school program that they had in Clarksville where military children would meet once a week just for those children and talk with like their counselor and stuff to kind of just see how everybody was doing. So it's a really good opportunity for them.
That sounds like really a great program.
Our school here had it too. When my kids were in public school, they had that, and Kyra was able to be part of it. Even though she's not active duty, they allowed her to be part of, because she's going through the same thing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really exciting. There's lots of fun things we get to do as military kids that a lot of other kids don't get to do. Like Caden, you said you like the traveling aspect, getting to go to different places. All military kids have a different opportunity. When I was little, I got to move and live in Europe for a couple of years, which was really exciting. Get to see new places that you might not get to see. So that's kind of like a really cool part of being a military kid. But saying goodbye to friends is also really sad, but you have to kind of roll with the punches, right? What is something that you guys wish that other people understood about being part of the military community?
Well, sometimes people are like, oh, I wish my dad was in the military. It would be so fun and everything, which I agree. It is a lot of fun to have a military dad. But I'm pretty sure my dad's missed most of my birthdays. I'm pretty sure he's not been here at least for 6 of them, at least. Probably more. So it's like really not fun sometimes. And the moving, like I said, that's not very fun. And I just don't think they really understand that like it's hard sometimes, and that it's not very fun at times, but it is fun at times. So I mean, I kind of have mixed opinions on that, but like still.
Yeah, that's very understandable.
Totally, for sure. I mean, it's a mixed job, there's some really cool things, but it's sad, and it is hard to have to be away from your dad for a long time. What about you, Caden? Is there anything that you wish that maybe some of your friends that aren't part of the military understood more about the military?
It's not always the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions that go into it. When dad misses Christmas or your birthday, or even like him not being home for Father's Day and you guys getting to celebrate that could be really hard, not only for you guys, but your dad probably feels the exact same way. He's very sad that he doesn't get to be there for those events. Yes. So it is interesting to show that you guys are very resilient and you guys are very courageous. And, a lot of people don't know that about military kids, and I'm getting teary because as a military child myself, I know all the different struggles that you guys go through. You guys are not also just worried about your guys' daily lives of going to school and getting good grades and doing good and all your extracurricular activities, but you're also worried about your dad and what he's doing. Is dad going to get hurt on trainings or when he's deployed? So you guys have a little bit of an extra little bit of things that other kids don't have to do, but you guys are amazing. And any of our kids that are listening are amazing. And you guys rock at being military kids, just so you guys know.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on and talking to us. I know you guys had to rush home from school to come talk to us, and it means a lot to us. And I know there's going to be some kids that are going through a deployment with their dad and are going to listen to this with their mom and be like, wow, there are kids that get it. They understand that it is hard going through school and listening, to the kids talking about their dad coming to the birthday party and knowing yours isn't going to be there. So your support in coming to our podcast today and doing this is helping support other kids too. So we really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Well, at least they had better answers than my child.
Yes. I know.
Yes.
But we kind of figured that, but it's great to see the different aspects because, a lot of, families I notice over the last couple of years, especially on the spousal pages, are always like, how do I explain this to my 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old? And you really can't. They really are not at that age where they can comprehend why daddy's gone. Like my son said, daddy's fighting the bad guys. That's what we tell him. That's what he knows. And that's what he knows when daddy's gone. He's either learning how to do that the right way or he's doing that. But our older kids are much more understanding and knowledgeable about those kind of things. And, really like give those military kids a hug because, they do go through a lot. And as someone who went through that, the moving, as a military kid, I moved a lot. We've talked about that in other podcasts. And it's not always easy, but, as a kid, I said I hated it. I will never want to be a part of the military community, but you know what? I cannot imagine any other life. It's one of those things where it's a part of who I am. And our military kids are always going to be military kids, whether they join the military after military life, they're going to be a military brat for the rest of their life. They're going to understand that and they're going to connect with other people that way.
And I kind of find it interesting how we asked your son whether he wanted to be a soldier, and they kind of all are like, no, I don't want to do this lifestyle, but they come back to it. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, like you were like ready to be done with it when you grew up. And then look, we're back at it, right? Like
I swore left, right, up, down, all around, I would never marry a soldier. And here I am 10 plus years later, married to a soldier, and we're nowhere. The end is nowhere in sight. So
it's a hard life, but it's such a good life. Like you meet the most amazing people and you get so much diversity in your life. There's just so much that you learn from being part of the military community, and starting young as a kid, you get so much life experience.
Can talk about the spouses. The kids don't even remember going through some of that stuff. So the whole worry of how is this going to affect my kid when they get older? I mean, you can see my kids, their dad's been deploying constant rotation for 9 years, back-to-back rotations that they don't even remember. All they know is that their daddy come back,
Yeah.
And
I can totally attest to that because like, I really do not remember much of my childhood, like my dad being gone. And I know my dad was gone. My dad was a Ranger. My dad was Special Forces. So I know that he was gone. It wasn't until I probably hit 8th grade when I really noticed. And that 8th grade, 7th grade is when 9/11 happened. So I was more aware of those situations because I was older and I kind of could comprehend what was happening in the world. And I knew like after 9/11, what that meant for my military family was, my dad is probably going to be gone. And he was. My dad instantly deployed fairly quickly when they started sending troops in. And he was gone for, I want to say like 16 months. He was gone for a really long time. And and I remember that, but like, I could not tell you about anything prior to like middle school. Like, I don't remember it at all.
The crazy thing too is, your kids say they don't want to go into the Army. And you said that when you were little, Ashley, you didn't want to go into the Army. Madison, on the other hand, she wants to. I don't know what she just told you guys, but and it's not because of Travis, it's actually because of one of her teachers was a retired military female soldier. And she told Madison how she flew medevac and she learned all the medical stuff, and now she's teaching. And so Madison has this long drawn out plan of how she's going to go into the Army and she's going to do the same route. So even though it wasn't following her dad's footsteps per se that she wants to do, somebody in the military community that's not military anymore still influenced her in such a huge way.
Yeah, I never really had a desire to join myself. I will say, as an adult, as someone who is from a military family, I probably kind of wish that I had done my like part as like my family, whether it was just for a couple of years or whatever it may be. Like, I know my dream job would have been really easy to do that, but I met my husband in high school. We met our senior year. So I was also kind of at that mindset of like, well, he was already doing the military. Do I really need to do it? Because, we had already planned to get married and stuff like that. So I never did, but there's so many opportunities. And if you don't have the opportunity and to go to school and do the things you want to do, this is an amazing way. And a lot of people think like you join the military and you automatically deploy. There are so many MOSs in the military that never even leave US soil. So don't always think that you're going to be in a infantry unit or a unit that's always going to deploy. There's so many things to offer. I mean, you could play the bugle, you could be a cook, you could be a scientist, a doctor, a nurse. There's so many different things. And so
that's what I was telling Caden. He's really into graphic designs and video games. And he keeps saying, I want to be a video game person. And we're like, well, the military, not that we're pushing him into the military, but we're trying to let him know that there are those options too, that he can go in and work for the military and design the games that help train these soldiers.
Like, and how cool would that be? That would be so cool.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And we get to be part of like knowing that something that you created has trained these professionals, these professionals that are going out there and actually using your product, which is so cool. And it's paid for. Like, I think that's one of the coolest benefits is that you can go to college and have it completely paid for if you're in the military. So
I don't know. I love military kids. They are the backbone to our military families. Again, I'm getting teared up. I really do think that military kids are some of the strongest individuals that you will ever meet. And if you haven't met a military child, you should.
I feel like you can find them in a crowd. You can point them out. They
you know who they are.
Yeah,
like, they're the little kid that's standing up. Yeah, they're the little kid that's standing up with their hand over their heart or saluting the flag during a Pledge of Allegiance. They're not acting up. You can tell who a military kid is, majority of the time. I mean, all kids have their problems. So like, that there's going to be the exception, but they're very respectful.
I feel like they're mature in their own way, even at their own young ages. They have that maturity because they understand. They've been through things that are hard. They've had extra stress put on them that even though they may not remember it, that when they're going through it, they know it's happening. And so it's a different level, but it's amazing to see them be so resilient. And they're still like, get in there, and they make new friends every time you move, and they settle down and they just have a great time, even though it's stressful to have to move and change your life every couple of years. So they're amazing children. They're amazing people to be around for sure.
I feel like they're one of the first to always jump in to offer help because they know when, even at school, when your teacher needs help, they're always like, I can help, or are willing to do something to help alleviate a little bit of the stress and pressure that's going on around.
I think they're amazing little human beings, and they should be celebrated. And I'm so happy that we have an entire month to celebrate how great the military kids are.
And it's been so much fun. I've been loving seeing all the play dates and seeing just all these kids getting out and being able to be celebrated. I know we've been handing out certificates, just telling them how grateful everybody really is for what they do. So if you, like I said at the beginning, if you wanted to get more involved, we do have coloring contests and we have lots of stuff, lots of play dates at all of our bases that are going out. So definitely do that. I want to say thank you again to our kids for joining us. I know that a couple of them were a little reluctant to do it, but they did it for us anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today, and we will be back next week. We're actually going to be back-to-back weeks this time with a really, really exciting interview that will probably put a spoiler out like this week sometime after this podcast.
I'm so excited for the next one.
Yes. So you guys make sure that you are following along and following us. If you don't know, we do have a new Instagram, so make sure you find us there. That's probably where we'll have our little spoiler of who we're interviewing next. So we look forward to talking to you guys again in a week, and we hope that you guys are having a great Military Child Month, and Ruck up, Buttercup.
Bye.
Bye.